Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Days of Our Lives where nothing matters. All this is bullshit. No, I'm joking. I'm so joking.
There's a semblance of truth in that, though.
Yeah, exactly. All this is made up. None of this is real. Welcome to the Matrix. Welcome to Walking 90. I'm your host, as always. Yogi Barr is joining me. Is a lady that is playoff bound, that is getting ready to leave us, like how Dame left Portland. Is Miss
Wow.
Eb. How are you, ma'am?
Good. I'm good over here. I can never leave. Okay.
That's a lot because your team's definitely said, yeah, we're out.
It won't me though. It won't me. I'm good. I promise.
Yeah, pretty much like your troll fans that all of a sudden want to start speaking on Twitter, but we ain't heard from them all season.
That's Ethan. He barely counts.
Yeah. And that lovely voice you just heard came from a man whose team has the potential to do the funniest thing ever in Madison playoffs in the last game of the season.
And win the league.
Yeah. How are you doing, sir?
I mean, if that happens, I'm just like putting my phone in like the safe and then just like leaving it there. Like no internet for me that night.
I'm not gonna lie, if that happens, I'm gonna have a party for y'all.
I need you to go live on Instagram.
From Breeze Stevens Field.
I will put this out there right now. If y'all manage to win the league and knock Madison out at the same time, I will buy a Joe Gallardo kit.
Wow.
They have a bunch of kits 50% off right now in the team store, so it wouldn't be that bad of a purchase.
And last but not least, the man that's getting ready to have kid number 3 because Dame's bringing home a championship is Mr. Kyle Carr. How are you doing, sir?
I am not having a third kid, but I am very excited about Damian Lillard coming to Milwaukee. There will be no third kid.
I'm still trying to figure out why this is so hype. Because why?
It's
what do you
mean,
mean,
baby.
Why?
I don't know.
Honestly, this is one of the things. Like the Bucks have struggled with their offense in the last couple postseason, and you're bringing a dude that's like, no matter what defense you throw, he is going to beat it. Double team Giannis, okay, fine. We'll just have this guy that can pull up from 40 feet, hit whatever shot he wants. It's fine. Like, I am excited. Like, he is exactly the kind of player that is going to do great with Giannis.
Sure.
Okay.
I ain't seen him in a postseason make it to, like, has he made a final?
It's kind of hard to make a final when the Golden State Warriors are on the other side and they keep throwing KD and Steph and Klay Thompson at their peak.
Yeah, whatever.
That's fine. Now you go to the East, you can get an easier path to the finals.
I mean, sure.
It's the East.
It's the East. Yeah, that's fair.
Like Boston and Miami, the only two teams that are potential contenders. Otherwise, what? I'm supposed to.
Oh, you're not gonna throw Philly in there? That's
why the fuck would I do that? That is the most unserious organization and team. They were dog shit, intentionally being bad for a decade.
You were like
all they've shown for it is a second round of play. Like they've only gotten to the second round. They have not even gotten to a conference final.
No, are we talking playoffs? Playoffs.
They have not gotten past the second round of the playoffs. Like this is, they did all that losing to be in the same spot they were when they started all that losing.
You will not ruin this great segue. Playoffs.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the thing that Rich was not going to be in because we're absolute dog shit for the past 2 months. The playoffs. Certain teams have already clinched their spots. NOCO, NCFC, Union Omaha, and I believe Charlotte, right?
Not yet.
No.
Charlotte has.
Okay. So far we got 3 spots already clinched. I'm presuming after this weekend, Greenville and Charlotte will probably clinch as well. So that realistically, that leaves what?
Wait.
1 more spot?
Can Charlotte clinch?
Charlotte, Greenville, and Madison could all clinch this weekend, technically. I think Charlotte just needs like a win. I think like Charlotte literally just needs to like win or even get a draw. And they're fine.
Charlotte needs Greenville and Madison's number to go. They need Tormenta to not win.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they are 9 points clear of Tormenta.
Yeah. And so they're tied on points. I can't remember who has like the tie. The first tiebreakers wins.
Which if Charlotte were to lose their last 3 games and Tormenta were to win their last 3, Tormenta would jump ahead of Charlotte because they would have 14.
So they functionally have made it, but they need to just do it. Like if they don't make it at this point, it would be not only their collapse, but like Tormenta getting mega hot and winning 3 in a row.
Which we've seen happen before.
Which we've seen happen
before. Their playoff run last year.
Yes. So we only have 3 teams, which is crazy because every year that the league's been in existence, at this point we've known who's won the league already. And we're in a 3-way battle right now where it looks like all 3 teams in the running are going to break the single season points record, which 28 games, I can already see Matt firing up his Twitter machine saying, well, the number of games is different. You know that, but points adjusted 64 points, which all 3 of those teams could conceivably hit 64 points and tie the points per game adjusted to 32 games, which is crazy, but that's also a lot of because like the bottom of the league this year is just dog shit.
Yeah. Hits my name. Richmond's only been great. We've been red. We haven't worn red. Confederate. Red.
Wait a minute. You guys didn't have a red kit this year?
No. That's probably why they're doing so bad, to be honest.
Look like Tucson, play like Tucson.
Damn. Oh shit.
Not having red, having the terrible lettering with the terrible numbers and letters with your white kit.
And having a gray and pink jersey equals dog shit.
How did we have a better red kit than y'all? How did we have a red kit?
Pain, you understand me? Pain.
Omaha's goalie keeper is a better red kit than Richmond had. It's not even a red, it's like blood orange.
We need to bring back the Mason Dixon line.
It's the small things that really change a season. And one of them is not having a red kit when your whole identity is red.
The South shall rise again. We bring back the red jerseys.
I'm not going to touch that one.
No,
absolutely not.
Let's talk about the 3 teams in the playoffs. Who the 3 teams in the playoffs? Next year. Is it NoCo, Omaha, then NCFC right now? But you have a game in hand for Omaha.
So it's NCFC, Omaha, NoCo. So NCFC's on 56 with a max point of 65. Omaha's at 55, game in hand, max point of 67, and NoCo's at 53 with a max point of 62. So Omaha is in the driver's seat right now, and they face NCFC.
I was gonna say, but we play each other this weekend,
right? And so NoCo's far enough away, especially if Greenville was to beat NoCo. You have a ipso facto Supporters Shield Championship game this weekend on Saturday, which is pretty exciting. But Friday. That's been throwing me off all week. But yes, Friday. Yeah. But it should be exciting, and it still won't be decided after that game. We still have a few more games. So Omaha has a bit of a schedule. They have to play Independence on a Wednesday.
That's your makeup game, right?
Yeah. So we have to go to Independence plays in Omaha on Wednesday. Then we go to Tormenta, who's looking hot right now. And then we end the season in Madison, who might need to win or get a result of some kind to make the playoffs. So it's not exactly easy sailing for Omaha, but if you look at who NCFC has, they have a much more reasonable schedule. After they play Omaha, they
got Lexington on the road.
And then one Knox at home to end the season.
Yeah. Spot Mob was not so they have Knoxville, who after this weekend might be knocked out of the playoff contention, Lexington, who's knocked out, and then Omaha. So they have 2 teams after the Omaha game who don't have much to play for, and Omaha they have a game in hand, but you got to do something with it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So even if they draw versus NCFC, they've got to get something versus the rest of the 3 teams they face, because it looks like NCFC, I would kind of pencil them in to win, especially if they're meaningful games. So,
and I mean, well, for one, NCFC has been starting games kind of slow. Not gonna lie, it's been kind of frustrating. But they kind of finally found their footing. Really convincing win last week, but it's a matter of like making sure that we are rotating as best as we can, especially trying to get Nick Holiday back into the net. Brooks has been doing pretty good. He finally got his clean sheets. He's finally actually like understanding coming out for the ball and what that means and when to do it and when not to do it. I just wish he was a little bit more decisive on when to do it. But I think they go into that Omaha game knowing that that could really be the thing that solidifies them getting like a bye and a home playoff game, and the playoffs running through Cary.
Yeah. And I think the big thing to remember too is less than a month ago, Omaha and NCFC played, and while it was 4-3, that's kind of due to 2 heroic late-minute goals by NCFC. So it'll be interesting to see how that played out, because that was certainly an entertaining game last time. Does Omaha actually close out this time? Does NCFC go out for blood? It'll be interesting because they have played each other so recently. And then for NOCO, they've got Madison again, which will be a fun game. And then they've got Greenville on Friday, which will be interesting because Greenville needs a win. Then they go and play Madison, and then they end with Chattanooga. So North Carolina and NOCO end the season on kind of a cupcake, and Omaha has a team that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot or fighting for pride, or they have something to play for. So it'll be interesting to see if that impacts Omaha's result, and I'm sure the Madison fans would also find it sweet if they were the ones to rob Omaha of a regular season championship by beating them at the end of the year.
Potentially, yeah. Well, I was going to say, because right now, I think Charlotte can clinch if I think going into this past weekend, Charlotte would have clinched if Tormenta and Knoxville had drawn. With Tormenta winning, I think it still gives, I think their magic number is down to 2. Madison's surprising. Like, it's weird because Madison still has a lower magic number, I think, than Greenville. I don't understand. That was going into this weekend. Obviously, with the results, that doesn't matter. But it is interesting to see what happens because Madison does have a tough schedule. You know, you get Lexington at home, which is the game that you pretty much need to win and probably puts you in a lot safer position. But then you're going to NOCO, and then you have Omaha, and it's going to be interesting to see, like, depending on how things shake out, you know, say NOCO loses to Greenville this Friday, then it's like, okay, you're probably not going to get that first seed. So then they're going to have to play for the second seed, potentially. And then depending on what happens with Omaha, say Omaha wins their next 2 games in hand and they have the first seed locked up, I don't think they're going to go in with, you know, quote unquote weaker team, but, you know, they're definitely going to have, and the good thing is they'll have the week break at least. So it's not as though they'll go weaker, but it is going to be interesting to see like how those top 3 teams do going into those final games or 2. It's like, do we want to take that risk? Do we go for like the first round bye? Do we maybe rest like 1 or 2 players? So that'll be the interesting aspect on that side of things with those 3 is not only with the de facto kind of winner probably gets the player shield with Omaha and North Carolina, but you're looking at NOCO, who's going to be playing a Greenville team that's going to want to try and get a win so they can get their playoff spot secured. Then they got to play Madison, who's going to it's going to be interesting to see with like the scheduling, who's going to want to step up and kind of make sure, all right, we're going to get this taken care of, get this top 2 seed, at least get the bye, and then depending, can we go and get that 1 seed? If not, do we scale back? What do we do? That's the best option for our players to not risk a injury potentially.
And I think the real dark horse in all of this is Greenville slipping into one of those home playoff spots, because Greenville has a very delicious end of year. So they have a game in hand versus a lot of teams. They play NoCo, then they play Fuego, Red Wolves, and Lexington to end.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked if they got to 55 points. That wouldn't be shocking. I bet if I had to draw it up, I bet they draw to NoCo, but then win their last 3 and slip into the 4th place over Charlotte.
Charlotte's going to be an interesting one, though, because they got Knoxville, then they go to Omaha, then they host Tormenta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't see Charlotte doing anything special against Tormenta. I can see, like,
well, the thing is, if Charlotte goes and beats Knoxville and Greenville loses, I mean, that creates what, a 7-point gap, even with Greenville's game in hand.
I mean, so over these, so
like Charlotte can go into
already.
that final game against Tormenta with they're locked in the 4 seed and they're just gonna chill.
Right.
Yeah,
but what they've done versus Knoxville already this season, they've lost 2-0 and then they've tied 1-1.
But Charlotte's just unpredictable.
Right, that's the
Like
problem.
Charlotte can go. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte won these 3 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost these 3 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they drew these 3 games. I don't know what to expect
one of
out
those games
Charlotte.
is Omaha, and Omaha has to win. So it's just that game could potentially be just like a dogfight.
And Charlotte has a loss to Omaha this year, and that's the weird part. Like, granted, this was when Omaha was struggling early in the year, but there's a 0-0 draw in Charlotte, and then both these games have been in Charlotte, and they drew 0-0, and Charlotte won 3-0 back in June. Obviously, it's a much different Omaha team now, but it's not like, again, I don't know what to expect out of Charlotte. Charlotte is the one that, fuck it, they're probably going to go into that final week against Tormenta with the 4 seed and just chill, and they might have like a 6-5 game for all we care.
So let's go around the horn and say how we think this shakes up. So Ed, we'll start with you. Who's going to get the 1 seed?
I mean, I'm always going to put faith in my boys, but I feel like it's really going to come down to our game Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If NCFC wins, I think there's no taking the 1 seed from them. I think if Omaha wins, I don't think NCFC catches you, because I don't really see where you slip up to not take the 1 seed if you win. But I'm gonna go us first, then you second for sure.
Okay. So what do you got, Yogi, for top 2?
come back to me.
Okay.
I need a second. I got it.
So I'm with Eb. I think Friday is kind of going to decide a lot. Omaha, if they lose, is going to need NCFC to lose against Cupcakes and to win their games against pretty tough competition. But man, Omaha's so hot right now, so I'm going to pick Omaha NCFC. I'm going to say a draw on Friday, but then Omaha.
A draw helps you the most. Like, a draw does nothing for us. Just makes us angry, and then we go play through games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, a draw might be good for NoCo. Like, a draw would help Omaha first, and then it helps NoCo because it doesn't create a big separation from them.
Yeah. So, Kyle, who do you have 1-2?
I'm gonna say, I'll say North Carolina gets the 1 just because they have a much easier schedule than Omaha, and then Omaha gets the 2 seed. It's possible Omaha might not lose again, but I just think it's a lot easier schedule for North Carolina.
Yeah, for sure. And the law of averages has to get them eventually, because 10 in a row is a lot of games to win. And it's something like they haven't lost in like 15 or 16 games too, so it's even crazier to think.
You just don't want that. You don't want that one loss to come in the playoffs, though.
Right.
Their last loss was July 22nd.
Yeah. It's almost like
Lexington.
let's get it out of the way. Get it out of the way early.
Honestly, if I'm Omaha, I'm like, I would rather lose either this week or next week so that I get it out my system. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, now I don't have to worry about this streak being alive. That's like going into the Super Bowl 15-0. or 16-0, whatever it was.
Whatever it- yeah.
If you're good enough, you're good enough. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh guys, hey, you know, let's
When
lose this.
they had a perfect season, and when was their first loss? The Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
I
I'd
mean,
rather
that's
get that
the
one
risk of
loss
it.
out
Like,
of the
no
way.
one's-
You know
like,
when
you
the
lose a
when the
game.
Giants lost, we lost 8 times. We got those losses out of the way. Okay, we said we're going into these playoffs 8-8. We know what it feels like to lose, so we're gonna not do it again.
Yeah, but this teams know what it feels like to lose. Like, granted, they've been on a hot streak, but I don't want to say like,
So
hey,
you know what's gonna happen? The league is gonna hype that streak up all the way through the playoffs, and then they're gonna slip up and lose like 3-0 to fucking.
I mean, hey, that's how the
Greenville.
cookie crumbles.
Now, this would be the funniest thing. If Omaha wins out, gets the 1 seed, Madison gets the 6. Madison beats Omaha in the semifinal.
Do you even have to
At
travel?
home.
What's
Oh.
that? What does that
Oh.
flight plan look like?
Gross.
That's a drive.
Yeah, hop in your
That's a
car and
bus
drive
ride.
6 hours.
Hell no.
Like, while Omaha might have their funniest situation of clinching the title, the regular season title, and knocking Madison off the playoffs, Madison could do the funniest thing and go into Omaha and beat them.
Right.
On
That'd be hilarious.
it would be like a 14 game win streak at that point.
Yeah, well then too, it's all the Omaha comments about like, "Woo, playoffs, Madison." It's like, well, we fucking beat you.
I was
Best
gonna
team
say,
ever.
if they get to that point, Madison will at least gotten 1 playoff win, and then that would be the funniest situation for both teams.
Yeah.
But I think it's just asking Omaha to continue. It's just a very tough schedule against teams that are all fighting for something.
Mhm.
While North Carolina, they'll have Lexington who's not fighting for anything, and then Knoxville probably won't be fighting for anything by the end of the season. And then you look at NoCo, and they're playing 2 teams back to back. They're going to be fighting for something, and then Chattanooga.
Yogi also never answered the question.
Oh no, I got my answer now. I had to take a second. Give me Union Omaha for 1. And give me NoCo for 2.
Wow.
It's possible. Like, it's not.
That's the thing. It is possible, and honestly, I like NoCo's schedule more.
Mhm.
Than North Carolina's?
Well, after they play Omaha, or after they play Greenville, they're playing 3 teams that are absolute dogs. They're playing like the 3 bottom of the table teams besides Richmond.
Who, Greenville?
After Greenville, they play Fuego, Lexington, and
NoCo plays Greenville Friday, Madison the following Sunday,
Oh.
Chattanooga
I messed
the last week.
I messed up my team.
Greenville's playing basically no one. So Greenville,
Yeah.
for the love of themselves, they gotta win.
I think
Yeah.
the
Those
Union
games.
Omaha game is tough. I can see that being a draw.
I'm jumping ahead to my hot take for number 3. I think.
Lexington. That's
Scrappy.
That's a
Spoilers,
scrappy game. Like, that's the game Doif can go off, and he can lead that team to a 3-3 draw, and that'll be the kind of game NCFC would draw or lose as a letdown game after the Union Omaha game.
We've done that already. We've had a letdown game.
And then 1 Knox. I can see them being 1 Knox. NoCo, on the other hand, I ain't gonna lie, man, it's tough going to Northern Colorado and winning. And Fort Madison's up and down. Who else they play? What, Greenville?
Yeah,
I can see them getting that
Greenville's
one.
Friday.
All I'm saying is we just went into NoCo and beat them.
You did?
You doubt me? But you doubt me?
I don't doubt you. I just put more faith in Union Omaha finishing this out with a winning streak and winning streak. And something about NoCo is just like, they're just gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Does anyone have an answer for Arthur Rogers? Like, no one does. No one has an answer for him. And to be honest with you, like, Arthur Rogers to me is my pick for MVP, and he's because like if you take him out of that NoCo squad, that NoCo team is not what it is. Like, they're probably 6, but they're not up here with Trevor Ammon having 20 goals, right? Like, it's something about that team, man. I'm just gonna ride it. I've been riding it all year, even though Zion doesn't want to believe it, and we'll bring him old tweets from January. But I'm gonna ride with it.
I mean, it is interesting because NOCO is the third best team at home, just based off of how they have performed, which is kind of shocking.
And this is the team that was in first place for a minute, and then they had that run, that little crazy patch around like July and August, I think. So they got the ability to do it. It's just that they fell off. Omaha got hot and jumped them. And NOCO's just been consistent.
Crazy that Omaha hasn't lost since July. They've not lost since July 22nd, and they're still only second place.
Hey, Richmond hasn't won since July 1st.
And you're still not last.
That's wild. That's fucking wild.
Well, that's the tweet.
Out of all of that, that part is wild. Is you haven't won since fucking July. We're in October at this point.
Yeah.
And you're still not even in last place.
And they probably won't get last.
Right.
The South shall
They
rise.
might get second to last. Second to last
I don't
might
think
happen.
they can.
No, well, they could.
If Fuego loses this weekend, we can't get last.
If Fuego wins out and Richmond lose out, Fuego could pass Richmond.
Which Richmond could lose out.
Wait a
But
minute.
Fuego's not. Fuego's.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's
Final
good.
game of the
Tweet
season.
that out real
Richmond
quick.
against Fuego.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Final game
Oh,
of the
that's
season.
the game?
Richmond against Fuego.
Yeah.
Is that the game for the wooden spoon?
This is going
And
to
I
be
will
last
be there 'cause
year
I'll be
where
at homecoming.
Madison against Tucson, where it was a potential where Madison-Tucson was going to be for the wooden spoon. And then thanks to North Carolina losing, that didn't matter. But
Yeah, same thing's gonna happen to us. They're gonna lose to Chattanooga this weekend. We're not gonna get the wooden spoon. Or the golden toilet, as I want to call it. But y'all won't allow me to do that.
we did not
I mean,
oppose it or anything like
I
that.
don't
know.
remember us talking about calling it that, but
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it.
Right,
We had
like-
this conversation about me getting the toilet seat and spray printing and gold for the team in last place. I'm just gonna do it. Just be
What was
like,
last
hey.
time Richmond first won
Okay.
that, Yogi? Did you say July 3rd? They haven't won since July 3rd.
No, I think July 1st. We beat Chattanooga 2-0.
That was your last one?
Yeah.
Damn.
The South shall rise next season.
Mm,
South shall
yeah,
rise.
July 1st. And it's been a lot of red and gray on Foot Mob since then.
Yep. And honestly, a lot of those games were wins that we turned into draws and losses.
Oh yeah, because you guys were up on Chattanooga and they came back and scored 3.
Yep. Charlotte, we were up.
Yep. And you let them come back and score 2.
Yep.
No. Oh no, it was 2-1, and then you let Mbuyu score in the 85th.
Yep. Lexington at 2-2 should have won that.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, y'all scored early. It was a really quick early game, and then you guys scored against yourselves. You actually scored 3 goals.
yeah.
Yeah.
The 3-3
Damn.
game against Fuego should have won that. The 1-0 game against Lexington should have been a draw. Yeah. Welcome to the shithole.
But anyway,
I know I felt last year.
That was me for my entire existence in League One, except for this year.
Looking to seem like, y'all need to do better.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
all right. Well, if we're gonna get into it, we might as well. Like, we've been talking about it a little bit, like before this pod. There's a lot of turnover that needs to happen for Richmond next year.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get there?
So I got an interview with Mika. Well, y'all hear it now. I got an interview with Mika coming out next weekend. And also I just dropped an article with Darren. Pretty much talking about the youth, what's the direction for the clubs going forward. If I am Darren, I am getting back to my roots. And I mean that by because Richmond doesn't have a lot of money. We all know this. Richmond don't. We don't have the financial power of Madison, NCFC, or UMR, or NOCO. So I think the easiest thing for us to do is kind of avoid anyone over the age of 26. Possibly anyone that's played in the USL Championship or MLS. They're going to go get college kids.
So,
Like,
question: we've seen what that looks like when NCFC came into the league, and that was what they wanted to do, and they were bottom of the table until literally they started spending money. You don't have the option to spend money right now.
yeah.
How are you preparing these college, academy, under 23 kids, League 2 kids to come in and perform when we just saw what that model potentially could look like?
Well, they had success with it in 2020. 2020's roster, a lot of them were college kids. Jonathan Bolaños came from High Point, Stanley Alves. I mean, you had a couple of other guys that were holdover from the roster in 2019.
But you made the playoffs in 2020.
No, we didn't. We were right high. We were
it was
second.
21-22. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, and then we fell out because we lost the last 2 games.
Yeah.
If the playoff format worked the way how it was supposed to that year, yes, we would have been in the playoffs right there.
Yeah.
I would say this. I think the thing that, if you look at Richmond, the thing that they're definitely missing is defensive depth and wingers. They don't have wingers. You don't have electric wingers. Let me say that. So that's why I say I think you probably get the college kids in the winger space because they'll give you some explosiveness, some opportunities to play. And then depth, I'm pretty sure there is going to be money to spend because wages are going to be freed up. I put the money in the defense and go get you another capable center back. We see how this team was when they had a third center back that could give Ani and Dak a rest. So I would go get a third center back. And possibly with North Carolina going up, I would look to see if there's a center mid that I can nick off of them. Someone that can just ball control. That's really what the team need. They just need wingers and a center back. Like, really, that's it. Like, you get those 2 things, and this team is totally different. Because it's not like this team's not creating chances. I mean, Neil Villiers is. You saw it in the game against Greenville. We can create chances. It's just nobody's finishing.
I was going to say, even that Madison game, like, there's a stretch of the first half where Nil was just trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah. It's not like we're not creating chances. It's not like we're not scoring or creating chances. We're doing all of that. It's just that we have like one lapse, and it's like it is hard to explain. So that's what I said. Like, go get another center back. Will really help out. Maybe a more explosive fullback, but I mean, this offseason is going to be telling to see what they do. Because I think Richmond, they probably struggled the most with the CBA out of all the teams. Is just trying to figure out like how to manage the roster or what to buy. Because you go look at like the roster outlay, like maybe we talked about it. Like I was questioning like the depth and like, all right, if there's an injury here in the midfield or in the defense, then he's gonna get hairy. Right, because we only had 2 noticeable center backs. I mean, you had Chris Cole, but he's kind of like the switch man behind the back 4. So I'm hoping that year 2 they kind of got a better grasp of the CBA and knowing how to finagle it and move within it.
So, which veterans are you keeping?
I mean, there's already a few on multi-year contracts. So Emmy's one, Neil, Kira, Chris Cole, Dak.
Well, wait. So, question. So, Akira's supposed to be a player coach. Do you finally
I would move on from Akira, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm in that boat as well.
Do you move him to just coach, or you move on from?
No, he'll still be a player coach because I think at this level you can still have him as a.
He could be the coach. He could be the backup keeper, where he's primarily coaching, but if he needs to play, you throw like Madison had that with Ryan Coulter.
He might get the middle game, or he might get the cup game. He'll get the cup game, he get the third game of the week, whatever. I don't think Akira can do a consecutive season, like game 1 to game 32. You can't do that anymore. Me personally, I would keep Willem Palmquist and keep him as the number one because I like what I see out of him. Yeah, I would do that. I think who else is on another multi-year? I think Simon Fitch is another one on multi-year, from what I remember. So there's like 7 or 8 players that are on multi-year deals. Outside of that, like Belmar's gone, or Gordon's gone. Sirakowski's, I think, was a 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Bentley contract is up. Meacham, Hornsby's, Ani's, Zaka's on a 2-year. Suko's on a 1. Giles on a 1. So there's going to be a lot of flinging and moving.
How much time are you giving the coach to get things right? I mean, for me, it's at least a season. Like, I'm giving him the season to like get some new guys in, try some new things, and see what works. And then, so realistically, if you're not better by 2025, I'm like, okay, maybe.
You're better than me. I was going to say he got till the summer.
Damn.
No, I mean, honestly, yeah. Honestly, I don't think Darren's going anywhere. I think this year has been an anomaly. Isn't it as like if you might not remember, but like 2019 Richmond, we went on a 7-game losing streak, we didn't score a goal, and the defense was just leaking in goals. It's not that level of bad. Like we just talked about. You can see stuff progressing within this team. It's just not being finished. Like when this team score a goal here and there, the outputs of games are totally different. And also within that, like Darren is building the academy. So I think Darren, him, Mika, and Rob all talking about like to build the academy how they want to and revitalize it is a 3-year thing. And we're in year 1 of it. So I think realistically, Darren has 2 years.
Is the W League team the same ownership?
Yeah, it's the same ownership, but it'll be a different, like, it'll be handled differently.
Right.
It won't be under anyone else.
So if you can't spend for the League One team, how are you spending for the W team?
Well, the W team is different. You don't got to spend like.
Well, I was saying, yeah, because most of those players are going to be college. So
yeah.
Oh, it's not Super League. Yeah. So that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's college. So, I mean, in that aspect, when it comes to Richmond, I think Derek got 2 years. I think next year, I think the expectation or the goal is get into the playoffs, see marginal growth, involve this team in the next phase of, I would say now, kind of build this team around Neil, and that's more so Emmy, which I know a lot of people don't want to hear, but that's what I believe should happen.
And
then year 3, if there's positive growth, I would say a whole playoff game. Like it's kind of like I'm back at 2019 again. I'm kind of back at that level again. I'm like, all right, what's the next phase of us going and improving? So we'll see. All the hope has gone out of my eyes, y'all. I can't lie to y'all, man. It's like, I don't know if y'all listened to the podcast last week, but man, we didn't even talk about the game. We talked about like who did good, who could improve, and just kept it pushing.
Just gotta power through it sometimes.
Yeah, it ain't much else you can really talk about. And I know Madison fans are hearing this, like, fucking, the Richmond fans get in there. Yeah, fuck y'all too. But
I'm already.
They may have listened after the sweep match. They may have listened to that pod, but
yeah, but that's the other thing too that annoyed me. Like, I'm cool with Kyle. Like, this is my thing. I don't mind Madison fans talking shit, but you cannot be from another city repping Madison and then talking shit to me. Like, you can't. You ain't in the. You won't in the gym shooting with them. You're not out here talking at the losses. You're not out here understanding what's going on in this league. Don't be like, oh yeah, Madison beat Richmond. Man, I will. Sorry, I was about
one
to
of the people with like 7 teams in their Twitter bio.
Yeah, like shut up.
Shut up.
You just happened to got a random jersey in a box. It was like, ooh, this looks cute.
They are a clothing brand that plays soccer sometimes. I'm just saying.
There. Easy.
Hey, this week
I don't want to hear from
There are white
the
people's
team that hasn't
escaping
beaten
to the
Madison all year
culture.
and the team
That's
that got
what they
swept.
are.
I don't want to hear from you two.
whatever. There's some
Actually,
really good
no,
games. I don't want to hear from you. I
Here's
will
beat
cut your
Madison
mic
this
off.
year.
Cut your mic off.
Wait a minute. I see a team that got swept. I see a team that lost 2 and drew 1 thanks to a dumbass red card. And I see a team that has lost and drawn. I don't want to hear shit right now.
No one's giving you shit. I'm giving shit to the other fans. They got a box.
Oh no, I was
jerseys.
definitely giving him
She
shit.
started it. She started it.
Yeah. And that's who I'm
Her
giving
mic.
shit to. Them fans. I can give a damn what y'all do.
God damn. Me being hostile at this time of day. It is my day. It's Dame Day, okay?
Hey, talking
Oh my
talking
God.
shit on Madison fans is Yogi's Super Bowl right now. That's all he has left to play for this year.
That's all he's got. This is all. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's time to get into vibes, chaos, and our over/under.
Are we just not gonna think of who gets those last 2 playoff spots, or are we just bypassing
Oh, I
that
thought we did
last
that.
3?
No,
Not really.
we haven't done 3rd through 6th yet. We got on a couple
shit.
tangents.
We have not. Yeah, we have not done 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah,
I feel like we don't need to do
All right.
I was like, this is good. This
Let's
is
make
good.
this easy. Do we all think Charlotte gets in?
Yes.
Yes, but I think
Yeah.
I don't think they
Hey,
host.
we don't care about
They'll
seeding.
play with
Big
their
in,
food for a
yes or
little
no?
bit. They'll play with their food, but they'll get it.
Yeah.
Do they get in? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Greenville. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
You gotta let this shit go. You gotta let this go.
I'm
You
taking
got
this
winning
to
that.
the end of
Yeah,
NCFC's
you
ride
got
and
winning
leave
that
one.
this year. Let it go. Let it go. It ain't happening.
No, Greenville will make the playoffs.
Thank you. We not listening to her. Okay, so the only 2 left that are realistic are Madison and Tormenta. I got Tormenta. Ev, who do you have?
I'm gonna give it to Ford.
Okay, Kyle don't need to speak because you already know who he gonna say. Chip, who do you say?
I got forward too.
Okay, so we believe Ford's getting in. I don't, but we believe Ford.
Oh,
There
so
we go.
you
I
can do the
get
hate
over
on
Madison.
Ford,
I just don't
but
think it's
I
gonna
can't
happen.
put Greenville out of the playoffs.
Because I want disappointment for everyone. I want pain and suffering for everyone. I want y'all to fall to the 3, and I want y'all to get knocked out. I want Chip to
Wow.
fall to the 1. I want Chip to get to the 1 seed. I want them to, the same thing that happened to me last year. I want it to happen to Chip.
So you're fine with
I
Greenville
want
being
y'all to
happy.
get knocked out in a must-win game against Union Omaha, so I can see X explode. The
Yogi's
South
gonna-
will rise.
So you're fine with so it's a Southern thing because Greenville, yeah, whatever. You're fine with
Because if
Greenville.
I go down,
They can
everyone
be
come
happy.
with me. We gonna treat this like January 6th, a snitching on everybody. Everybody going down.
Yogi's gonna
We're
be
back on the
hosting.
January 6th stuff.
Yogi's gonna be hosting the USL final podcast by himself.
He said the whole pod goes down together in solidarity. I did not agree to that.
Yeah, I don't know about you
I did
guys.
not sign up for that.
I didn't sign up for that.
Look,
He threw every team under the bus.
Cal did the same thing last year when he paid. No, it wasn't Cal. It was M. When M prayed for chaos. And what happened?
Chaos.
Cal had a horrible end
I
of the
was gonna
season.
say
Chip had a miserable end to the season. I got knocked out in the first round. I'm doing it this year. I want it to happen. I want that last game.
Look,
New York
I was gonna say
Madison.
I did not put
I
this on
want
anyone last
5-0.
year.
I wanted to be dirty, nasty, grabby. I want Madison fans crying. I want them getting knocked out in the 3rd round, and then they have to be like, hey, we're going up to the championship. And I want Chip and them to go on a winning streak, get to the final, and then lose to John Hawks. I want it all.
What did soccer do to you?
Gio's in the comments unzipping his pants and be like, go on.
What the fuck?
I want
Like,
pain
I
and suffering
expect,
for everyone.
I expect some anger towards Madison. I expect that. That's fine.
Ask and you shall receive. Hi, Gio.
I was over here on the Capel stand with a broom. Like, I brought that. Like, that's fine. If you're going to be mad about it, like, fine. I did egg it on by having a broom on the Capel stand.
That was
Evan's
funny.
last day, Evan's last game as a Ford Madison employee, and one of his final acts for the clubs is bringing me a broom.
That's
What
the fun.
pain
That was
is
the. We
suffering.
should have went solo cam because he literally went on like the greatest 2.5 minute rant of all time.
Uh,
Oh.
I promise you, if this man, you know what? Fuck it.
I mean, do we need to talk about the games this week? I don't want a solo cam.
No, I'm trying to give myself a solo cam. Damn it.
Oh,
you don't need another solo cam. You just got your solo
fuck it,
cam.
give it to him.
Oh,
If
boy.
this manifesto happens, I swear on Black Baby Jesus, I'm gonna come on here and do a show after every one of these predictions happen. Ooh,
You're gonna be
Ooh.
solo. It's gonna be a solo show then.
It's gonna be. It doesn't even matter. He's just gonna start streaming to Twitter and YouTube from the account, and it's just gonna be him laughing for 16 minutes.
He's gonna be on IG Live, just
right.
not in his own world.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be like an Elma N4 video. It's gonna be this truck talking to the camera.
I just wanted all the birds in the fucking ground. Stupid ass play.
I still want to know, what did Greenville do to not get put in this?
Right. Like,
I mean, we can add their answers too. They can fuck around and lose as well. You know what? Yeah, they can get dumped out as well.
They get dumped out of the playoffs, and Knoxville and Tormenta sneak in. That's what you're hoping for.
What?
so then who's winning who's winning the league at this point? Because everybody in his chaos reign has been knocked out.
Greenville.
Noco.
Oh, you said Omaha loses to Harks in the final.
Yeah.
Oh, semifinal, I meant.
Yeah. Eamon Noco lifts the cup.
Yeah.
Oh, so he still gets to be right in his
Yes.
preseason
Yeah,
prediction,
that's all. Yes.
but everybody else has to suffer.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the price
In
of
the
update.
worst way possible. You know what?
I wasn't even this bitter last year.
I'm bitter.
We can tell.
I'm bitter.
we can.
We know.
No. You sure?
I'm bitter.
Set one more match. Why don't you?
This is all the pent up frustration from Richmond. That is, thanks a lot, Richmond kickers.
So
Like,
why do we have to bear this brunt? What did
Right.
we do?
It's like when you come home, like, pissed off at work, and you're just mad at everyone, and you just start yelling at everyone else. Like, what the fuck did I even do? It's the
This
I'm
is
like, what did the dog
You have
do?
to
The
wait.
dog
What are you fucking
didn't
me
do it.
for?
The dog.
Yeah.
As
Drop
you can
the
tell, I'm getting progressively angry in this podcast. I've talked about kicking dogs in wheelchairs.
What? That was last week. Okay, that
Yeah,
was
that
last
was.
time.
Which did come true.
Oh boy.
You know what?
It did come true.
So, vibes, chaos, and over and under. We're
One
moving on.
second before we get there, Ed. Since we're talking about Yogi's irrelevant team, let's talk about another irrelevant team. Chattanooga was in the news this week. Rumors of them
yeah.
going up, pulling an NCFC for 2025. What do we think?
Whoa.
Dumbest
See,
shit ever.
And I think you're on mute.
who, me?
Yeah.
Nah, I
No.
can hear.
Oh.
I'll say it again. That was the dumbest
Maybe
shit
I'm
ever.
on mute.
Yeah, they did it. They did it the wrong way. You don't talk about it. You just do it.
They're the guy that goes to the club and be like, hey, I'm gonna pull the baddest chick in here and don't do it, but then lie and change the number of Pizza Hut in her phone to her number and be like, hey, I got it. Dumbasses.
It's just a weird thing considering the stadium's not done. They're not
they're
filling. They're not filling the stadium. It's
thing
not as
is,
though.
The
No,
team
hold on.
that should have gone out was the team last year, not this team. You don't make this announcement with this team.
Oh no,
Right.
this is what you do to try and get people to actually come back and care.
But
Mhm.
they already know that you don't give a shit about players. So
Well, but that was the second half of the deal was they're going to load up and build for championship next year, so they're ready to go.
So then, I guess kind of like what Eb said. Why would you not? Because now if they go in next year and absolutely shit the bed and they're just not good, then what? Then what are you doing?
They're check cleared, so they're in.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. They have the money to do it. Like they probably have the richest owner in the league.
Yeah, but it still comes down to players don't want to go because you've already shown you don't care about players.
Yeah.
And
who can want to coach that job?
And the thing is, they're doing it to align with their Super League. You can have your Super League team and still have your team in League One. Like, you don't need to come up the championship and also have the you don't need to do that.
No,
like, you brought up the championship to be what? The next Hartford? Hartford already got that title. They dog shit.
They'd be wolf shit.
Ah.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I legit don't, unless they're concerned that Chattanooga FC potentially going to MLS Next Pro is going to like threaten them, which it's not.
It doesn't.
But that's the thing. I don't understand. A, them doing this in general, and B, them making the announcement now.
I feel like the only reason they're doing it is to try to keep eyes on them for Chattanooga FC. Like that's it.
I think it's to try and get
dumb.
fans to try and drive fans to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Because again, if you go in next year dog shit again, you're just gonna look stupid.
Like if Chattanooga would just understand who they are, you are never going to be bigger than FC. You're not. No matter how many titles you win, who you bring in, you're never going to be bigger than FC.
Unless you somehow cajole yourself into going to the MLS, which isn't going to happen.
Right. So it's like, do what's smart. Like, just, like, honestly, build your academy. I don't understand why they haven't brought in, well, they brought in a few players from Chattanooga too, and I think the Utah team. But it's like, just do the smart thing and just focus on yourself instead of worrying about what FC's doing and trying to compete with them, because you're not going to win the city over them. You're just not.
Right.
Let it go.
On a mild tangent, how much do you want to bet that they do something really, really tone deaf and name their Super League team the Lady Wolves?
Oh,
well, yeah, I think the women's team was already named that.
Oh, listen, that's not even the worst thing they could do.
no,
That's the worst
it wasn't
part.
Lady Wolves. That's That's terrible. It's a bad name and it's super offensive.
Look, when the bar is here, they can go here.
The bar's already in hell for them. How
Always
much
get a
lower can you
shovel.
go?
Yeah, I think
Hades Town level. I don't know.
Hades Town.
yeah. Call them
No, I
East
mean-
Ridge for all we care.
I'm surprised, honestly, that it would be Chattanooga that's making this jump.
More so, I blame USL. Like they didn't figure out what the hell they're gonna do. Because remember when League One came around, they were like, "Hey guys, we're gonna focus on local rivalries." None of that.
Worked out pretty well.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
force a rivalry. That is the thing, League USL. You cannot force rivalries.
They
Oh,
did
you have
the
remember the
Washington
Barnes
versus
Accords
Knoxville.
Cup? The Barnes Accords Cup. Gio remembers that. The worst,
Yes, I do
worthless
remember.
fucking trophy ever.
You cannot force it. It will happen on its own, whether it is through close matches or teams just simply not liking each other down the road. It will happen over time.
Right. Because I remember when this league started, they tried to make Chattanooga and who was it? Who they trying to make rivals? Chattanooga and Lansing rivals. And end up being Richmond and Chattanooga. Like the only organic one that they have made, I give them credit for, is Greenville Tormenta. That's it.
Well, what are they going to do with Charlotte now? Because they were forcing that Charlotte one with the Dogwood fucking Derby. Terrible name. And now that NCFC is gone, what are they going to do?
But the thing with Charlotte, North Carolina, at least there was it was legit. Like that was
It was still a legit one, but
I mean, giving
the
a name was
naming
stupid.
of it is just.
It was stupid.
Well,
I mean, it was stupid to name it, but at least that one was like a legit, like, okay, no, this was actually a rivalry in the past. Like, this was not a let's make up a concoction rivalry. Like
The Peach State Derby. What?
Huh?
the worst. Well, that's not even the worst one. The worst one is the Ice and Fire.
the Trojan Condom
Yeah,
Derby.
that's the worst. It's like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, So I think that's the thing. I think
That'd be the funniest thing.
there's no reason, like, and that's the thing with this whole expansion thing. It's like that's why you gotta like start looking at.
There's
Like,
no
are you actually
rhyme or
going to do?
reason to it.
You don't need to
That's-
make rivalries with your expansion teams.
The problem is going to become now that all these teams you can just pay your way up, and you talked about Pro-Rel, like you mentioned, like what are you doing with that? If all we're going to do is just keep paying to go up and down, why even think about having the vote to possibly go to Pro-Rel model to maybe have a dream about it once upon a time?
Well, they're going to do Pro-Rel. It's not going to happen until after the 2027 World Cup.
Until after when?
The women's 2027 World Cup, if that comes to the U.S. Like, I don't think it's coming in the near future. It's still 4 or 5 years minimum away. That's another conversation. Chaos, vibes, goals. What we thinking?
We're going to consider this round of games to be the Friday games and the Saturday games. So that is 6 games total. On Friday, you have Greenville NoCo at NCFC Union Omaha. Saturday, you have Charlotte versus Knoxville, Forward versus Lexington, Kickers versus Tormenta, and Red Bulls versus Fuego. What is your vibes game?
That's Omaha. I mean, you got the top 2 teams. That is going to be the one where it's like, no, go check this shit out.
Yeah, that's the game I'm watching. I don't really care about any other game this weekend.
I'm gonna go the other way and say it's gonna be Tormenta Richmond because
what the fuck?
Vibes?
Yeah, the vibes. Yeah, because Tormenta's just gonna whoop Richmond down,
and it's just gonna be a smooth game. Okay,
it's like
how was that vibes?
Who the fuck won't want to watch us play? Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
home game, Yogi.
It's a vibe.
Nobody about to come here and watch.
Well, my
See, this is why we need segregation.
I'm gonna fight.
This is why we need segregation.
Well, my chaos game is NCFC Omaha because it's like this is not it's not going to be fun to watch as an Omaha fan unless we're just going out and we're up like 4-0 at halftime. It's not going to be a fun watch.
We're missing the most blatant chaos match ever, but all right.
My vibes was NCFC Omaha, but my chaos is Red Bulls Fuego.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is the chaos game. That is the only one.
Thank you.
This man said Richmond Tormenta with a
layup. It is right there.
Shut that, man.
A close second is Charlotte Knoxville. That's going to be wild because I don't know what Charlotte is going to do. Charlotte could show up with like a 2-0 easygoing game, or it could be 3-3 after 60 minutes.
Look, man.
I would have been fine with like Greenville NoCo as a vibes game. That's a fine contender. That would be okay.
No.
No Saturday matches the vibes. There's no vibes on Saturday.
The vibes game is Friday night.
I mean, no, because Forward could be a vibes game.
No.
Yes.
No. That is more potentially chaos than vibes.
Look, the only chaos game.
There might be a 2-year-old that runs on the field
Fuego.
because someone was not parenting correctly.
There's only one.
Jesus.
There's only one chaos game. It's the bottom of the table. That's it. Shit else. There's only one vibes game. It's the game at the top of the table.
No,
That's
you
it.
can give NoCo Greenville. That can be if someone said that was their vibes.
We're not giving the white people what they want. No.
You make me sick. All right. And the over under 17.
Fuck it, under.
Over.
Gio, that makes no sense. But
I'm gonna say under.
Vibes is a farmer's market. Honestly, I love the farmer's market.
Here's the problem. Greenville NoCo, I feel like could be very low scoring. Knoxville Charlotte feels like it's gonna be low scoring.
Really?
I think so.
What?
Richmond Tormenta probably is going to be like a 1-0, 2-0. Like, it's not going to be exciting. Like, no.
Dude, I'm taking over.
I feel like we've gotten burned by the over.
Look, we
haven't-
thought it was going to be a clear over the last time, and we barely got over that line.
Yeah.
Give
I
me
think
20
over.
and 3
You're
red
gonna have
cards.
you're gonna have some like 2 dumb 3-3 games and like a 4-3 toss in there just to mess everything up to go with the 0-0 draw. So I'll go over, even though because I said over, every game's gonna be like a 1-0 slugfest.
I'm saying under.
I'm going over. I feel like that Chattanooga Fuego game is going to be wild. And Lexington, for some reason, is scoring like 3 goals a game, but somehow also losing 4-3. I don't know. And that Tormenta Kickers game is going to be wild.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Like I said,
No,
I
it's
feel
not.
like
It's
we had
not.
the same feeling the last time we recorded. I feel like this was the same thing we thought. Like, oh, these matches are going to be just fucking layups. It's going to be.
See, but I took the under because I was like, everybody is still like, it's going to be some. We were
so like, oh
fucking
no,
cool.
it's fine. Fuego and Lexington is going to have 4 goals, like
Hey,
6
I called
goals
the
in
right
it.
number of red cards.
NoCo and Tormenta's going to have like 7 goals, and they had 3. Like Madison and Knoxville's going to have like 3 goals. They had 0.
I took the under, and I was damn close. I feel like this week everybody's just being like, "Fuck it, we ball," and they're just gonna go for it because they have to clinch, and they're just gonna go fucking balls to the wall. And that's why I'm taking the over, because there's going to be some crazy goals scored this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what the clinching scenarios were. I don't think the league posted like what it would take.
They haven't. We're doing their work for them. So
Charlotte basically win or Tormenta don't win, and they're fine. Madison,
Tormenta
I guess,
needs to
could.
drop a point, or Charlotte needs to get a point.
Yeah. Greenville, I think if they win and Tormenta don't win, and I think Greenville Madison is like win and Tormenta and Knoxville drop points. It's
going to
actually
be
relatively straightforward. Like we could have a situation where all the teams clinch this weekend.
Well, that wouldn't be fun.
I'd be fine with that.
Of course you would.
Because then that at least takes one of Yogi's doomsday bullshit out.
It's going to happen. Why'd you say Duke's going to score a hat trick this weekend?
Wow. He just wants everybody to hurt. I'm just... What was that?
It's a clip. I'll play it again.
No, you don't have to. I just wasn't prepared for it.
I just want to say this. If my doomsday prediction comes true, I'm doing the hater ball skit.
There's nothing wrong with Phantom the Opera, Gio.
Are you still going to do it if it's a hat trick, but Madison still wins, though? No, you're not. What? You said you're going to... If Diouf gets a hat trick, you're gonna do the haters ball. But what if he doesn't get a hat
I said
trick?
if my doomsday prediction comes true of y'all losing on the final day of the Union Omaha, Chip losing in the semifinals, Eb losing. I'm doing the hater ball.
You're not getting all 3. You might get 1. You're not getting all 3.
Yeah.
I don't even think you're getting 1, to be honest.
No, if he gets 1, that means 2 people on this pod will be upset. Him not making the playoffs plus one of us being super sad. So I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And
join me.
We all have a good night.
Come to the bitterness. Just remember.
I did that for 3 seasons.
I did that last year.
Just like.
And 2021. I've done this the whole time we've done this fucking show.
Just like the South, we shall rise again.
Please end this show.
We're in trouble. Where were you on Jan 6?
I was shooting in the gym with them. We was winning. We was winning.
Wait a minute.
Bye. No. Goodbye.
Those were the good old days.
Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
I'm not the one that can stop this.